All right. Dude, you're like in my lane. No, I just rent a 3 storages.
Okay.
They're here at weird times and not always here.
Okay, well, is this the old Belks building?
No, this is the old Sears side.
Where's they might have the wrong name on it. It says the old Belks building, but
no, this was Sears for years. My ex-husband used to work here years ago.
All right.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
And it's still got the ramp right there going into the shop.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and at Sears, they just went out of business like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
But they've been here for a million years. I mean, there's a Belks in Destin Commons, but that's a ways from here.
Yeah. No, it shows paved Bacon Road, and it shows this area, and it says the old Belks building. But they may have the wrong name on there. Maybe the old Sears building. I'm going to have to call the guy.
Well, if it's the girl in the office, you know, it's kind of like help the handicapped.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can call the number when nobody's here. It goes to
I've got a
a switchboard.
For a contractor that's supposed to be doing some work. They're supposed to be locating the gas line for it.
Yeah.
And they said they got it white lined where they're working. I don't even see no white mark.
Yeah, they claim that it's climate controlled, and it is not.
It's not.
No.
Yeah.
And because it's hot as fire in there normally, but now there's 2 other entrances on the other side.
Okay.
That they have 3 loading docks. So, but they're not here all the time. But if you call that main number, it just goes to an answering service, and they'll say that they're here and they are not.
Huh.
There's only 2 people.
That put it in the old Kmart building too.
I don't know. They have some storages out in Valparaiso.
Oh yeah.
And Jason, he's like 30-year-old, real nice guy. He's usually out there. He's the general manager of this area.
Oh. Okay.
So he's sometimes down here, but she doesn't work every day. So it's you know, you never know when they're open. It's odd.
Yeah.
If you see a red Jeep parked right there, she's here.
Oh,
and she's a little tiny Latin-looking girl,
right.
dark hair, real cute, but you know, kind of out there.
Well,
But,
all right. Well, I'll
but
see what I can find out.
check the back side, that 2 loading docks. Maybe their white line stuff is there or
Yeah, I'll
something.
go back here and check and see if they're doing some kind of. I think they're doing sewer work or something. They said.
Really?
I thought that's what it said.
Yeah, it's about the most expensive storage. But
No, it
it's
just says underground construction.
this building has been here for a million years. It's lasted through all the hurricanes.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
I was here in the during the Katrina hurricane too.
Really?
Yeah, and I was pumping gas, and it like literally picked my body up sideways while I was pumping gas. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Oh man.
Down on the island when they had the 2 Tom Thumb stores across from each other. Yeah, and it trashed the beach up so bad.
Oh wow.
They had to come rake it all, you know.
Yeah.
I think they used Tammy Faye's eyelashes to get it clean. But it was a mess. But yeah, because if anybody comes, it'll be like at 10
Right.
if they come.
Okay. I'll drive around here this loader up and see if I can see anything.
Yeah, and then they claim they're open at 6 or 6:30 at night, but it's just she's just kind of, you never know when she's going to be here. When he's here, it's running.
Right.
It's right the way it is, and he's a pretty good cat.
Yeah.
But now you could call him out at the Valparaiso storage out there.
Okay, I may do that. I've got a number here to reach somebody. So, all right, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You have a good one. He's supposed to do some work. Apparently they don't have the heat hooked up. And I had told her, I mean, not like it's going to majorly freeze here. Even that building, I don't think it's going to be that cold. But the thing is that if they heat it, then it gets too hot for my sewing stuff. The sewing stuff does not like heat at all. It really, heat is really hard. Like, you know, when I do costumes for showgirls, I tell them don't leave that in your trunk, because a lot of them will leave it in the trunk and then never take it out till they work. And it's really bad if it's in the heat, because it wears out the elastics and the elastic fabrics really separate in the shoes. And you don't want to be wearing, 1 foot high shoes and have them fall apart while you're on stage. You break your neck. I have actually known girls that broke their neck on stage from poles and shoes and stuff. I've actually known it. I remember when we first went into those monster platforms that were super high. They look like giant handicap shoes. And they make girls walk like that too. It takes the sexy out of the walk, those nasty shoes. And I used to tell them, they'd say, well, I don't know if I can wear these. And I said, well, they're like, can I try it on stage? It's like, no, because then it becomes used. And I can sell it, new when it's used. It just destroys the price. So, and they were really expensive. Those shoes were way over $100 when they first come out. That's a lot of money to buy 1 pair of shoes. For me, I like to have a lot of shoes. But, yeah, and so, I'd tell them, I'd say, I make them sign a paper that says, I had a 3-month guarantee on the shoes because I had a guy that built them at the factory and he backed them for me and he would triple glue them and all that kind of stuff, so they're really tough. So I never had a problem. I rarely had to take a pair of shoe back. I think I took 2 back ever and sold hundreds of pairs. But, yeah, I'd make them sign a paper that said, I do not furnish insurance with these shoes. If you fall, it's your problem. I don't condone the shoes. I think they're ugly. They ruin the walk, the sexy walk of a girl, and I think they're very dangerous, especially on today's stages with the plexiglass and all that. The old stages had parquet floors, but these new plexiglass stages are really slick. And I don't care if you put shoe rubbers on there or not. I'm just telling you that they're really dangerous with those tall shoes. They're just so ugly. The only thing they were good for is to wear on their pants in the platform era. And the really sexy, pretty ones they have today that are clear and loose light and the colors, you had to get those out of Europe. And they were over $200 a pair back then. And, they were just really hard to come by. But you wore them under pants because they were ugly shoes. They just made you look taller, so if you were heavy, then it made you look thinner. If you were young, it made you look more of age. Multitudes of things. I used to wear big old tall platforms, but they were always under slides. I used to wear the casual comfort or something like that shoes. Bear traps were nice. They were made out of wood, but the casual comfort shoes were supposed to be the ultimate in comfort. So they were pricey. They were about $60, $65. That was a lot of money then. But people are getting back into wearing that 60s and 70s stuff now again. I think it's great. Like Edith had told me, I said, well, what is in style? What's fashion? What's the right thing to wear? And she said, fashion is what you make it. She said the styles go in and out. It's kind of like a bathtub when it drains. And some will go through the drain and some still in the bath. It just kind of swirls around and, maybe one will go down the drain, So that was her description of fashion and style. She did have a theory about basic colors. Like, I asked her, I said, in shoes, in pocketbooks, should be like totally matching, or, what are the best colors? And she said, well, you should have a pair of white shoes. You should have a pair of black shoes. You should have a pair of beige shoes, and you should have a pair of emerald green shoes and a pair of navy shoes. And then sometimes a pair of red shoes. And those were the basics to her. I was like, wow. But let me tell you how hard it is to find a green shoe or a blue shoe. Really hard to find. And you know what I have? Blue suede thigh-high boots. Yeah. They're so cool. I love my blue suede thigh-highs. They're cobalt blue. They're too neat. Everybody always jokes around with my blue suede shoes. But they're really cool. Super warm. If you ever lived in Memphis in the winters, I had to work in it a lot. Money was fantastic then. But I'm going to tell you, it was freezing. As we're talking floor-length mink coats and thigh-high boots all day long. Woohoo! That's the only way you'd stay warm. Mother God, it was cold. And I mean, you literally had to like wear a fur hat. You had to wear gloves. You had to wear a scarf around your neck because it was blowing and it was cold. So. Good friend of mine, he's deceased now. He lived in Arkansas and he was a top engineer in the world, used to be flown all over. And I'm thinking his name was Frank. He's a real character. He used to collect arrowheads. He was at the local club one night. I walked in, I had just got in from Memphis, and I was wearing thigh-high heel boots and a floor-length mink and all that, and it was really funny. He said, well, you're wearing it all wrong. And I said, huh? He said, you're wearing it all wrong. I said, I don't understand what you're saying. And he said, the sexiest thing is a girl in a t-shirt and a tee-back and thigh-high boots. And I just laughed. Pretty cute. Thigh-high boots are great for girls with really bad legs. It makes them look super sexy and perfect in every way. I used to work with a girl at Platinum in Memphis, and I'm trying to think of what her stage name was. She was a young girl, dark hair, real cute, little tiny thing, and if she didn't go on stage with those thigh-high boots, she was worthless. Because she couldn't make any money. She had crap for legs. And she would get out there in those thigh-high boots and shorts or a skirt or dress, and she looked hot. They really do well for people with crappy legs. It's so funny. She's so fine. Like, yeah, she takes her boots off, she's not. Oh, I remember. She went, I think she went by Victoria. Victoria. At Platinum Plus in Memphis. Pretty girl. See, yeah. Probably even had fake ID for all I know. I won't bitch about it. I worked in the liquor business with fake ID. I wasn't the only one. You did what you had to do, man, when you left home. You had to be in a grown-up world. You had to know how to make that grown-up money, too. And the places that included liquor were the ones that had the money. The problem is, as you get older and you quit drinking, you just are less tolerant of the drunks. So, dear Mr. Truck Driver, please don't hit me. My camera moved. Please don't back out on me. This is a tricky intersection right here. Because there's people coming from all directions. Okay, I'm gonna go on the back way. This is the best way to get into Walmart, is go through an auto side. I'm gonna go in here and get a couple of those silver boxes because I need them for my clothes. Because I'm storage, the ones that I use the most. That way, if I need anything, I can get it real easily and put it in front of the storage. Better back it up. I guess my little friend's not working today. There's a little midget girl that's a mechanic here. I'm literally a mechanic, and she is so cool. She has an old El Camino Ranchero that's red, and I mean an old one from the 70s. It is nice. She's been restoring it. Okay. Go and get a couple of those silver rocks. I'm thinking that's all I might need. I don't know. We'll see. Start with 2. I think I could for sure use those 2. And we'll see you guys in a little bit.